All right. Okay, so here we are, trash talkers, assholes and cocksuckers, and whoever's following me and watching this podcast. This is the Mammoth, and you are on Veteran Trash Talk Behind the Beard. This week's episode, we have my guest is my coach, Coach Josh, and he is the owner and coach from Olympus Athletics, and the team is Olympus Powerlifting. And we are going to unpack a few things of what's gone on this week, these last couple weeks, leading into today. Today was the competition. I still have my medal on because that's something I like to do. I wear it until I go to bed because I'm still a kid. But that's how that is. So we're going to unpack it all and get into it. So I will let him introduce himself to you for a minute, who he is and what he does.
All right, guys. So as David said, I'm the owner of Olympus Athletics. I'm the head coach over there. We do a lot of things, but powerlifting is kind of our main thing. David is one of the main guys on our team, also known as the Mammoth. I believe he earned that name on our team, right, at a competition.
Yep. Earned it
so yeah, so we're pretty close friends, as well as I'm his coach. And yeah, we just got done with the USPA drug tested nationals, and it was quite a prep for David. And going into this, whenever you're training for an athletic event, it's tough enough in its own, training for any sport, but when you have to go through some serious adversities, that's a whole nother ball game. And first off, before we even get into this, I just want to say I am super proud of David. The fact that he even showed up and competed, I thought that was a win in its own. He could have missed every lift of the day, and the fact that he even just made it here, I was very proud of that. Just to see him there, especially everything he's been through over the last month. So yeah. Anyways, so going into a little bit of prep stuff. So over the last month, talking specifically about your exercise and stuff like that. How did you feel going into the comp as far as being prepped? Did you feel properly prepared?
Physically, I felt mostly physically prepared. I had some, like you were saying, some adversities, some things that came my way in my life, physically and mentally. So it was a bit of a challenge. But I feel like ability-wise, I feel like I was mostly ready, close to what I was planning on doing and the numbers I was planning on hitting. I had a few different issues in the last few months. I had a rib pop. I had a big gout flare-up that really set me down almost a couple weeks. And then my father passed away recently, and that really kind of tested me a bit.
Just weeks before?
Just 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks ago. And so that really kind of played a big role in everything. But anyone that knows anything about me, I don't really halfway anything. I like to whole weigh everything. And there was never a thought of skipping workouts. There was never a thought of not doing this competition still. And it's funny because I find out from other people that I don't even know, they would tell me, "But your father was so proud of you. He would talk about you," which is news to me because he wouldn't really tell me. I never knew all of that. He wasn't super in his emotions. So I never really knew how proud he was until all these strangers are telling me, "Oh, super proud of you. He loves to hear about what you're doing and how you're lifting." And so it's all kind of had an effect on my output. And I've still gone to the gym, even though mentally I feel like 20%. I still go in there with 100%, and it becomes what it becomes. And we got to the prep. We've been doing this since February, and it's been a bumpy damn road. But I'm extremely excited. Today was really well. I want to say as good as it could have been expected.
It was pretty awesome. You went 8 for 9. So
pretty close, yeah.
So in powerlifting, you totally have 9 attempts. You have 3 attempts to do each exercise. So the squat, the bench, and the deadlift. So when they call it going 9 for 9, it means you made all your lifts, which means it was a really smooth meet. You didn't miss anything. David only missed his very last deadlift, at the end of a really long day. We started at the competition starts at 9 and finishes 9 a.m. and finishes at 5 p.m. And even though you're lifting one rep, it's a lot of warming up. It's a lot of stressful, me smacking him on the back and cussing at him. And
what people don't understand when it comes to these powerlifting competitions, and this is something that I had to learn the hard way, was your central nervous system spikes and dumps like 1,000 damn times, and you don't realize how exhausting it is.
Yeah.
Even though you're only doing a total of a handful of reps throughout the whole day, you get so amped up and excited, and your adrenaline, and I'm gonna fucking hit this lift, and I'm not gonna fail. And I'm gonna show them, and I'm gonna show my coach I can do this shit.
Getting emotional, right?
You get very emotional.
Bringing up psychological things that are going to get you amped to lift that max weight,
And then the rep's done, and then you go chill for 25 minutes.
Get some food in. Wait a few hours.
All of a sudden you go from here to here.
Yeah.
And it's the trip. It's a big mind fuck. And so there's so much more involved. It's not just, okay, you're definitely strong enough. Okay, no, I know I'm strong enough because a lot of the lifts I did today, I've done repetitively in the gym, no problem.
Yep.
But when you add it up, how the way it is, it's just a bigger thing than you even realize.
Yeah, it's completely different. You see someone go in and they hit their max squat in the gym. Well, they prepared specifically for that exercise. Whereas, powerlifting, you're here all day, and it's a lot different. So by the time you get to your deadlift, you might not deadlift as much as maybe you did in the gym when you were fresh. So it's definitely a long and tiring process. And our team was here all 5 days, so we had a person every day except Thursday because the competition was cut up. We had 2 days for females and all the different weight classes, and then 3 days for males. And so it's a very long competition, over 500 competitors, over 100 competitors each day.
A lot of competitors. That's what made it a long day.
People from all across the country, Maryland, Pennsylvania,
all over the country. Which is why it's nationals. So everyone that qualified throughout the country gets their chance to be the best in their weight and their age. I got a silver, so not bad.
First nationals.
Came behind another guy. This is my first nationals. This is actually only my third competition I've only been doing this for just under 2 years. So
if you want to count last year as a year.
if you want to count last year. But I'm pretty proud of myself. Most guys aren't this far after 2 comps or this short amount of time, so I take it as a win. I almost qualified for Worlds, and I'm totally cool with not qualifying. I'm very excited. Next USPA Nationals is in Atlanta in the spring, so I'm super excited to point that direction and start gearing up for next year. But
and so your final numbers. So we finished with. Was it 529?
So my best squat was 529, and there was gas left in the tank. So
definitely.
So there definitely could have been more, but that was cool.
And that's a cool note because your competition just a few months ago, you finished with 474, and that was it. Yeah. You didn't have any gas left in that.
And that was the last one. Yeah.
So that was a big improvement, going from 474 to 529 in just a few months. If any of you guys know how it is to increase your max strength, that is crazy, especially for a natural lifter. So that was probably the biggest jump in strength we saw. You still PR'd on both of your other lifts though too. Your bench.
Then I hit bench. My previous comp PR was 330. 325. So then my final lift today on bench was 341.
And again, that was only a few months ago, right?
Yeah, it was in February. So a matter of months ago. We're in July. So not bad. Hammering it, getting it. But so bench it very well. I'm very happy with that. And then deadlift is a whole nother story.
Yeah.
So really quick to unpack the deadlift. So my opening deadlift was supposed to be 528. Somehow, for whatever reason, they only put 507.
And he picked it up, and I'm thinking, man, that was fast.
I didn't realize it. Easy. I got a text from one of my buddies who was watching the live stream from home, and he congratulated me. Yeah, man, that was awesome, 507. And I said, huh? And I showed the text to my coach, and I said, huh?
Yeah.
And he said, oh, shit.
And if you guys are wondering why it's so confusing, everything's in kilograms. So in order to, really get used to that you have to calculate back and forth, unless you just really know kilos, which we're still getting used to. But so that's why sometimes you don't always recognize what's on the bar. It's not like weights in the gym, or it's not like, in pounds, or like a familiar measurement like that. So anyways,
so the shit of it all, what sucks is, so in my mind I just did 528, and in my mind I thought, okay, not bad, feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
Didn't realize it was barely 507.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Which was your last out backstage.
My second lift was supposed to be 562. Yeah. So I thought, cool, 528 felt good.
Yeah.
Once I found out it was only 527, and now I realize, oh shit, the jump is going from 507 to 562. Normally, for most people, that's a fat ass jump.
Yeah, that's a
most people
jump.
do 10 to 20 pound jump, maybe. For me, I actually don't mind big jumps. I'm kind of known for doing big jumps, but I didn't expect that today.
Yeah,
I didn't know it was that much. I thought it was only going to be like a 20 pound, from almost 530 to 560. No, so all of a sudden I had to wrap my mind around, oh shit, okay, well, I'm pretty sure I've got the strength to make that kind of jump, because I just assumed that was 528. Yeah. So we hit 562.5.
Which, that was the state record.
Okay, cool. That was a record, so I got a state record out of that. And so the last rep coming up, and at this point I'm mostly gassed.
Yeah, so again, he had made all his lifts up to this point. It's at the very end of the day. He's in the very last group. It's divided up into 4 groups that go, so they're called flights, flight A, B, C, and D. He's flight D. Last group, last lift of the last day of nationals.
Yeah. And all this stuff that had gone on in my life, and I found myself warming up for that last lift, and I had my headphones on, listening to some good music, and trying to just get in the zone and just really just drag out the monster that I needed to bring out. And for some reason, I don't know why or how, I started getting a little bit emotional, and my father popped in my mind, and I had to fight down a tear or two, and I fought it down. And so I get out there on the platform, and it reared up again, and I had a mouthpiece in, and I literally had to bite down on my mouthpiece and kind of force it back in my eyes, force it to stop. Don't cry in front of all these fucking people. Just do this shit and boss it out. And I get it about to my knees, and my pec wants to start cramping on me, and I didn't want to push it for fear that it might have torn or any crazy thing.
And you could see the bar kind of pull forward too with the pec.
I basically stop. I fail the rep.
Yeah.
So
and that was 600 pounds.
That was 600.
You got it to your knees, yeah.
And I wanted it. I wanted to go 9 for 9 perfect on the day, and it just didn't happen. Whatever happened, it got in my head, and I got emotional, and maybe I was tired. I don't know.
Well, I can tell you from a coaching perspective, there's definitely some nutritional things. So the rest of our team, we're all staying here together. David got kind of a separate place with his family. So it was really easy for me to monitor the nutrition of the athletes that are staying with me. But David, wasn't really monitoring your nutrition as close. So it's definitely something I'm going to write up some specific stuff for next time. But obviously cramping is largely a nutritional issue, lack of electrolytes. He's there all day. We're in Palm Springs. It's over 100 degrees every
The good news is it happened on the last lift of the day.
Yeah.
It didn't cramp on the first or second, thank God.
But I know you had that lift. I know he had that lift.
I've done it before.
If he did not cramp his pec, he would have deadlifted 600 pounds.
Yeah.
But he sealed the deal on 562. His previous best was around 550. So all in all, he PR'd. A PR is a personal record. It means you beat your old, record of, what your best lift is on that exercise.
Yeah.
Anyways, he PR'd on all of the lifts. So, obviously showing up with all his adversity. And then on top of that, PRing with especially on the squat, pretty huge PRs. We're all really proud of him. Really all excited for him. And I know he's excited to get back into training and get back into prepping for the next one, right?
Yeah. So how do you feel I've grown from fast forward all the way to today, if you could sum it up?
Well, it's funny. Being a coach, it's not, because we're coach, we're friends, there's a lot of kind of things going on. And, we've fought before, we've argued, and things get tense. But, like, all in all, like, I feel like definitely you've just grown so much as a person, and, like, powerlifting is really just giving you, like, this machine to do that, because powerlifting is about small, steady improvements. His old best was 325. If he looks at, let's say, Julius Maddox, he's the top bencher in the world. He benches 800 pounds. He looks at that guy, he goes, oh, I'm 325, he's 800 pounds. Why am I even doing this? That's so demotivating. But he can set small goals, ignore those other people, and just focus in on himself. I want to add 5 pounds. Or in his case, he went from 325 to 341. And I think that those small improvements are just more realistic and more really what people should focus on. What's the saying about eating an elephant or something like that? It's like
one bite at a time.
One bite at a time.
A good example, to interject, a good example is, personally, when I started 2 years ago, 500-pound squat was like my end of the rainbow. Man, that would be cool.
Someday.
That'd be cool someday. I'd love to do that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But I didn't think it was super duper realistic, because to me, 385 pounds, 400 pounds, to me, that felt heavy. Now that I'm way past 500 and I'm shooting to try and get to 600, I'm looking back and thinking, man, at some point I thought 500 was like the end game. And now so past that, now I've learned, and I've told myself, I'm not even going to tell myself, man, 600 would be cool, because I know with the training and the nutrition, I'm going to get there. It's just a matter of time.
Exactly.
So now,
time and effort.
I've stopped setting some of these speed bump short-term goals or horizon goals, because I know with my hard work, it's going to happen, because I don't give myself an excuse or reason not to succeed. I'm going to do it. I don't usually believe in setting any kind of plan Bs. That's a lot of big things that Mammoth is about, is no plan B. There's always just plan A, and you're going to fucking do it.
Yep.
And that's kind of how I've been. So I've realized these things I did at the beginning with him, man, this would be cool. That's gone. It's so gone. Because I've realized things that you didn't think might have been possible, they're totally fucking possible.
Yep.
It's just how bad, it's so cliche, but how bad do you want it? And I want it bad because this is one of the only things I like doing in my life. I go to work, I spend time with my family, and I work out. And I see it as a personal challenge to myself. Okay, I benched 325 at my last comp in February. Man, what do I think I could do at Nationals? Well, shoot, it's February, and I got however many, 5 months, whatever.
Yep.
Okay, let's see how strong I can get between now and July, and we'll just see what number I can hit. Let's shoot for 350, no shit. And that was the goal. Just kind of a number that was out there.
You're pretty close.
Yeah, and 341, which I hit recently in the gym a few weeks ago, so I know I can do it. Yeah. And so I've just learned about how to change my training, or my mindset. And I love how it's going. Yeah. I've somehow managed in the last 8 months to become a national athlete, and next year I'd like to become an elite athlete, which takes quite a bit more for where I'm at, but I have mental goals of things that I want to achieve. Yeah. And they're going to happen with good coaching, proper nutrition, and my undying energy and devotion and loyalty to my team to make it happen. To stay the plan, stay the course, run the strategy, and that's what we're doing. But it's all also it's who's around you. Yeah. And I feel like I've got the right people in place. I've got a wife with undying support and love who helps me and encourages me and lets me do whatever it takes. The right coaching and planning, and you just couldn't ask for more. I eat like shit sometimes. My nutrition's not the best. I know that. But if I can get that on point, I give you shit for it too. If I can get that on point, it's going to start slicing away at all the little negativities, and it's going to start guiding into a very clear path to where I'm going. Yep.
And as cheesy as it may be, if you love him or hate him, Tony Robbins, the super motivational guy, he once said, "Progress equals happiness," and that's one of the things that I've really liked. one of the things he said I really liked, and I can see that in David, and I can see that his mental growth, beyond yes, I've added pounds to my total, the psychological and emotional significance and confidence that he's gained from that, to just see himself progressing physically, both in his strength, he's building muscle, he's losing fat.
Crazy hungry. When you succeed like this, it just makes you so incredibly hungry. Like knowing the next comp I possibly could go to is until January. Awesome. Now set the fucking table and let me eat, because now it's time to eat. Now it's time to grow some more muscle, some more strength, tighten up on the technique. I'm excited. It was just today, a few hours ago, and I'm dying to get back into the gym on the new process and just kick more ass. Very excited. So it's very empowering as a person when you succeed at something that you worked so hard for, and something in this case that's, for a while, I'm going 6 days a week, 2 to 3 hours at a time, and so much work goes into it. The early mornings, the late nights, the long hours, and it pays off. There's almost no better feeling. Exactly. And my coach can explain to it as well. It just makes you want so much more. It's worth it.
Yeah.
But let me get to this part. As a Marine, a combat Marine with post-traumatic stress disorder, powerlifting has been something that I've turned to where I really enjoy. It really helps me mentally, physically, and it really helps me feel better. It's the one thing I enjoy, and I think it's because I pour my love into it, because it's the one thing I need, and it helps me mentally. And I love it, and it just makes me want to do more, and I don't want to stop, because I'm pretty sure it's what's making me happy. And I'm pretty sure I enjoy it that much because it makes me happy. And I love the challenge. Every day is a damn challenge. So.
Well, and how cool is it? You are one of many veterans that are a part of powerlifting.
Yeah.
The veterans are like huge into powerlifting.
Yeah. If you're not familiar with powerlifting and you're a veteran watching this podcast right now through Veteran Trash Talk, check out powerlifting. Yeah. Check it on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Check out Casey Mitchell. He's got one leg. Yeah. He's an Army vet, lost his leg in Afghanistan. He's got a massive deadlift. He's a big, strong guy out of Bakersfield, California. Casey Mitchell. He's a good example. Army veteran. So powerlifting, it's amazing output if you're a veteran, if you have PTSD, if you're injured, or anything. If you just need an outlet, maybe you're not a veteran and you're watching this and you're just a civilian, it's even better than just going to the gym and going on the treadmill and then hitting the bike and then doing some basic machines.
So that stuff is so boring. It is so demotivating. It is no wonder everyone falls off the wagon. Weight regain. I don't know if David's introduced. I'm in grad school right now studying exercise science and sports nutrition. I'm finishing my master's this semester. And so I do a lot of reading on research, and the statistic is about 80% of people will regain all that weight they lost within the 1 to 2 years of losing it. And it's because they don't have some kind of long-term game that they love, And if you're just thinking of, food, I have to eat this healthy stuff because I'm a fat piece of shit, what is that doing to your mentality and your self-image? You're not feeling good about yourself, and that's not just a healthy way to live.
Well, it's always a short-term thing, right?
Yeah,
you lose 5 pounds, and what do? You reward yourself. Everybody does it.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you don't fucking do it.
Exactly.
You lose some weight and you think, I can afford to. I can eat just one. Yeah. I'm going to go to Burger King, or I can go to Yogalicious or whatever, Cold Stone. I'll do it tonight. But tomorrow, back on the wagon, I'm going to get that off.
Yeah, we'll see.
And before you know it, it happens to everyone. It used to happen to me. But now, I shit you not. You can ask him. I schedule my life around the gym. It does not, nothing interferes with getting my progress done.
Yeah.
And that is exactly how I think you need to do it. Everyone says muscle memory, so many hours before it becomes routine. I don't know about all that. I just know I set up goals, I got started, and I didn't stop. And when I succeeded, I pushed the goalpost a little further, and it just got fucking better and better. And so, last time I'll say this, if you're looking for something to do, if you're looking for something to better yourself, powerlifting, check it out. USPA.
They have tested or non-tested. Yeah. So if you choose to take stuff, we choose to do the tested side. Olympus and just in general, you feel the same way. We really promote like a healthy lifestyle. Along with powerlifting, which isn't always the case, especially, a lot of the stereotypes around powerlifting are, eating donuts, taking steroids and lifting heavy weight, which definitely is a big part of the sport, but it doesn't need to be the sport for you. There can definitely be a healthy way to do powerlifting for both psychological, and the thing is, it is one of the most supportive communities I've ever been a part of. I've coached other sports, and
I mean, how many people come up to me and they congratulate me, total strangers,
or people you're even competing against, directly against. They're coming up, and it's, hey, do you need some chalk? Do you need some whatever? Right. There was a guy there who he couldn't fit into his belt because he ate too big of a lunch, so he didn't have a belt to wear for deadlift. So we were trying to help him out, and
I tried to loan him my belt,
and they were competing against each other. And the thing is, it's just kind of a really cool thing to where it's like technically you're competing against each other, but technically you're kind of also competing against yourself, and it's just a very supportive community. I could tell them about that veteran even if you'd like. So, one of the veterans that we talked to, I'm not sure what branch he was, but he was an older man, 75, 80 years old, and he was an international judge. So this means he goes and he's a referee essentially for powerlifting internationally. So at the biggest competitions, he's the highest level referee. He told me he's been in powerlifting for 45 years and that this sport saved his life. He said after Vietnam, he fought in Vietnam, he was a blackout drunk every night. Every night for 5 years, he'd black out drinking. And without going into too much detail, powerlifting essentially really helped straighten him up, give him a positive outlet for his PTSD, and really just give him a healthy, positive outlet for life and a hobby.
I can attest to.
And 45 years later, he's still a part of it. He's still a referee, and he's still competing. Yeah. And what was the oldest person today? I think they were 87 years old.
Yeah, I know for sure, 84-year-old.
Yeah, I heard Michael told me he was like 87, but there was multiple people in their 80s. Yeah. Competing.
It just goes to show the only excuse you have is the one you give yourself. Yep. You don't need a damn excuse. These dudes are out here a foot in the grave and they're still doing this shit.
I mean, and some of them, it's not like they're like just lifting the bar. I mean, wasn't some of those older guys lifting 300-400 pounds?
There was a 50 or 60-year-old guy that was deadlifting 500.
Yeah.
And for his age and his weight class, that was a state record.
Yeah.
So, you don't need any excuses. No. It's all bullshit. Do what you want to do. Don't give your way out. So, we're gonna wind it down a little bit. There was a lot to unpack. So, before we stop, shoot your shot. Tell them who you are and where they can find you.
Josh Amaral. So my Instagram is Mr. Olympus, but the gym page is _Olympus _athletics _ we're Olympus-athletics.com if you want to check out our website. We also sell clothes, OlympusAthleticsApparel.com. But yeah, if you guys are looking for coaching, or even if you just have any questions,
if you need online coaching, and he coaches clients out of the country.
I've coached people as far as South Korea. That was my furthest. She was
deployed active army.
We've worked with.
So it doesn't matter where
deployed. Yeah. No matter what it is.
Check that out. Check his website out. Instagram, the.com. Check it out. Also, check out Veterans Trash Talk. You can find him on YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, and of course, the best part of it all, Behind the Beard on YouTube at Veterans Trash Talk. Hit the like and subscribe. Leave a comment for the Mammoth. Also, MammothPowerCompany.com. Find me on Instagram, Facebook, and the .com. Pick up some shirts, hats, hoodies, tanks. I don't really care. Get whatever you want. I will send that shit to you. Have a good day.